Mexico, high volcanic plateaus cut by deep gorges form one of the most extreme landscapes on Earth. This is the Copper Canyon, and it's home to the Tarahumara people, known as the light-footed ones. Against a backdrop of breathtaking grandeur, the Tarahumara make light work of the near-vertical copper-colored canyon walls. They run along narrow footpaths at dizzying heights, for hours at a time. The fit, lean bodies of these remarkable runners are maintained by an environment that exploits the best in their genes. You have to be fit to survive here.
The canyons are deeper than the Grand Canyon, and the deepest is more than 1 mile deep. And it's very steep. In order to live in those mountains, you need to be able to master the mountains from a physical point of view.
But if the Tarahumara leave their traditional environment and step into the modern world, they face disastrous consequences.
In the big city, I can tell you they're nothing in terms of their health like the Tarahumara who live in the Copper Canyons.
The shocking transformation is an extreme example of a problem that faces many of us as we move further away from the environments in which the first humans evolved.
The Tarahumara aren't special. What's special about us is that we're abnormal. We grow up sedentary, inactive, we wear shoes most of our lives. All of those things change our bodies and make us the weird ones. The Tarahumara are the normal ones.
Through human evolution, the genes that have helped us store fat have been highly advantageous.
Human beings are actually, compared to other primates, very fat animals. And the reason we're fat, and we evolved to be fat, is that fat plays an important role in our reproductive biology.
For many in the developed world, an endless supply of food arrives on a plate. Human evolution took place over millions of years, and for most of this time we had to work hard to get even small amounts of food. So the process of natural selection favored genetic mutations that would help us store energy from the little food we could find.
We never evolved to live in environments where we had an excess of energy. Taking any excess energy we have and storing it as fat for when we need it. Everything about our bodies are a result of an interaction between your genes and your environment.
The mutations that helped early humans through times of scarcity cause metabolic diseases today.
When we look at ancient humans, they never had type 2 diabetes. It was something that could never occur in an ancient population because the surplus of food was not there.
Genes that worked well in our Stone Age world are out of alignment or mismatched with the way we live today.
A mismatch disease is a disease that's caused by a mismatch between our genes and our environment. There's lots of mismatch diseases which continue to occur.
Our history has left us this vulnerability, and it will increase in the future because the westernization of diet is happening everywhere. The United States now is fatter than any other country in the world, but everyone else is going our direction.
The rate of evolutionary change does not happen fast enough for our prehistoric genes to adapt. Nowhere is this more apparent than among the Tarahumara of Mexico. In their canyon wall settlements, the traditional Tarahumara live on a simple diet. They grind corn to make thick tortillas and a roasted corn powder known as pinole. Although the Copper Canyons can be very hot in the summer, freezing winters mean food may be scarce, so genes that help store fat become an advantage.
if you did not have that ability to store fat for those lean times, then you would die. So they actually need those genetic traits in order to survive.
Few roads reach here, and for many centuries the Tarahumara have lived with a near vertical transportation network. In their downtime, the Tarahumara compete in a staggeringly long traditional race. Springing up vertical ascents, the Tarahumara knock spots off ultra-fit visitors who struggle to keep up. These Tarahumara are still making good use of genetic mutations that date back to our earliest ancestors. But as soon as they leave, problems emerge. Many Tarahumara move away from the canyons and into cities like Chihuahua. When they move off the mountains, their genetics start to work against them, and they face serious health issues.
Those who have become urbanized and those who are living a life of abundance, for them today, what was once a way of surviving has now become a way of becoming sick.
Dr. Jesus Arguillas sees the downsides of the Tarahumara's genetic inheritance firsthand.
The main cause of death among these people with obesity is diabetes. In fact, the correlation is so strong that the term diabesity has been coined to describe it.
Martin Castillo is a Tarahumara man who struggles in a modern environment.
When Martin first came, he had several problems. One of which is that he is insulin resistant, which means he was already in the early stages of diabetes.
If he doesn't stop eating fats and sugars, his condition will worsen and eventually kill him. The problem affects not just the Tarahumara, but the whole of the country.
Mexico is the second most obese country in the world. Mexicans seem to have a genetic predisposition towards obesity, and the environment, their diet and other genetic factors make this even worse.